Hello and welcome to our instructional series of videos. In this installment, we're going to show you how to create a RAID volume using SoftRAID. We've already installed SoftRAID on our computer. We'll be using SoftRAID 7 on macOS Ventura in this example, but the basic instructions should also apply to other versions and OSs. It's recommended that all the drives you're using in your RAID be the same size and model. Mixing brands, sizes, and types can result in lower performance. Keep in mind that this process will destroy any data already on these drives. If there are files on any of the drives we're making into a RAID that you want to keep, you will need to back them up elsewhere. Because of this, we recommend performing this operation on a computer with no other drives attached. Otherwise, unmount and disconnect any drives besides your boot drive before beginning. Now, let's get started. Before we create a RAID volume, we'll first want to certify each of the disks. This contributes significantly to the safety and integrity of your data. Now that all external drives are disconnected, connect the enclosure or enclosures with the drives you want in a RAID array to your computer and turn it on. If they're brand new drives, you'll get pop-ups for each one saying that they need to be formatted. You can go ahead and click Ignore for each of these, as we'll be doing that with SoftRAID rather than Disk Utility. Next, go ahead and launch SoftRAID. The easiest way will probably be to go to the SoftRAID icon in the menu bar and selecting Launch SoftRAID. In the SoftRAID window, there are two halves, the disks half on the left and the volumes half on the right. Right now, we're going to look at the disks half. These are all the physical drive units connected to your computer, which, if you disconnected all other drives before starting, should just be your boot drive and the drives you want to make into a RAID. In this example, you can see the boot drive and the 4 drives in our Thunder Bay. To certify a drive, select it, then go to the Disk menu and select Certify. A dialog box will appear with a short description of the certification process and options to change some parameters. However, we recommend using the default settings. Go ahead and click Certify to begin the process. You'll be prompted for your username and password. Enter those and click OK, and the process will begin. As you can see, certification can take quite a while. Fortunately, you can certify multiple disks at once, so go ahead and do the same thing for the other disks you want in the RAID. While we usually suggest you let the certification run its course uninterrupted, if, for some reason, you need to temporarily stop the certification to work on something else, you can. Simply select each drive you want to stop certifying, right-click, and select Cancel. To start again, just perform the same steps as you did before, except this time you'll be given a dialog asking if you want to resume the previously interrupted certification or start over. You can then let your computer sit while the certification completes. Once certification has completed, you'll get a dialog box for each drive with the results of the certification, including any errors the drive may have returned. You can dismiss these notifications. Your drives are now certified and are ready to be made into a RAID volume. First though, we'll need to initialize them with SoftRAID. Select the drives you want to use in your RAID. Command clicking will let you choose more than one at once. Then, go up to the Disk menu and select Initialize. You'll get a dialog box asking you to confirm initialization, then be asked for your username and password. Enter those and click OK. After a couple of moments, the drives will be initialized for SoftRAID and we're ready to proceed. Go up to the Volume menu and select New. You'll be presented with a window that contains the information required for all RAID modes supported by SoftRAID. The first thing to do is decide what kind of volume you want from either the icons along the top or in the drop-down menu to the right. SoftRAID supports a number of different RAID levels, each with its own features. To To help determine what kind of RAID will best suit your usage case, visit www.softraid.com/RAID levels for more information on each of the RAID types. Once you've decided on the RAID type, we can move on. For this demonstration, we're going to go with a RAID 1+0. From the disks on the left, select which drives you'd like to use to create your SoftRAID volume. Hold down Shift and click to select a group of them, and Command click to select or deselect individual ones. All the drives you have selected will have their indicator lights flashing. Next, give your RAID volume a name. We're just going to call ours RAID because we're creative like that. Next on the list is File System. HFS Plus and APFS are the standard Apple file systems, with APFS being the more modern. EAXFAT is generally reserved for Windows use. If you have a specific reason to change it, such as a Time Machine drive requiring APFS to work, you can, but the default setting will work perfectly well for most use cases. Next is optimization. SoftRAID will optimize the setup of the RAID for the best performance in a usage scenario. We're going to use this RAID for video, so we'll set it to that. Volume Safeguard is a SoftRAID feature that helps protect your RAID from accidentally being erased or damaged. When this box is checked, SoftRAID will not allow you to erase the volume or a drive used to make it without first manually unlocking it in the software. The last thing to look at is volume size. While you can change this if you want, in most cases you'll just want to set it to its maximum size. Once everything is set to how you want it, go ahead and click Create. In almost all cases, you'll be asked about stripe unit size. The default setting has been determined using the drives and usage optimization we chose earlier. Unless you have a very specific reason to change it, it's generally best to go with what has already been selected. For RAID levels 1 and 1+0, you'll also get a dialog to select which drive or drives will be the primary drives for the RAID. If you're mixing drives with different ages, speeds, brands, or the like, you'll want to choose the fastest or most reliable drive or drives as the primary. If all the drives are the same make, model, size, and age, such as with a brand new enclosure and drives, then this distinction is less important. Either way, you can select the required number of individual drives, in this case 2, by command clicking them. Like before, the selected drive's indicators will also flash, showing which ones they are. Once you've selected these details, your RAID volume will be created and will eventually show up on the desktop. At this point, your new RAID volume can be used just like any other external drive.